America, land of the free, home of the brave, a nation built on the ideals of democracy, freedom, and opportunity. But beneath the surface, a different story is unfolding, and increasingly a playground for those who think they know better. The corridors of power are now frequented by the elite, who believe they have the answers to all our problems. We're talking about the dismantling of government agencies, a trend that picked up steam under the Trump administration and shows no sign of slowing down. Entire departments are being gutted, their functions outsourced or eliminated altogether. Leading the charge, none other than President Donald Trump, back for a second term, and seemingly determined to leave his mark. His vision of a leaner, meaner government is being implemented with ruthless efficiency. And who better to help him wield the sledgehammer of efficiency than Elon Musk, tech mogul extraordinaire and now head of the ominously named Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. Musk's reputation for innovation and disruption is now being applied to the very fabric of our government. This isn't just about trimming the fat or cutting red tape. It's about a radical transformation, a complete overhaul of how government operates. The goal? To make it run like a business with all the efficiency and ruthlessness that entails. This is about fundamentally changing the role of government in American life. Essential services are being slashed, and the safety nets that many rely on are being pulled out from under them. The impact on everyday Americans is profound and far-reaching, and the consequences, as we're about to see, could be dire. National parks are closing, historic sites are falling into disrepair, and citizens are feeling the pinch in their daily lives. The very fabric of our society is being tested. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to take a wild ride through the wreckage of American governance. The changes are coming fast and furious, and the ride is anything but smooth. Hold on tight as we navigate the twists and turns of this new reality. First on the chopping block, the U.S. Agency for International Development, better known as USAID. The folks who provide humanitarian assistance and development aid around the world, the ones who help fight poverty, disease, and hunger. Musk, in his infinite wisdom, called USAID a criminal organization. Strong words, especially considering the lack of evidence. But hey, who needs facts when you've got a Twitter account and a direct line to the president? The result? Thousands of USAID employees are out of work. Vital aid programs have been disrupted, leaving vulnerable populations in the lurch. And the agency's website? Offline. Poof. Gone. Along with it, potentially years of critical data and records. Efficiency? Maybe. Accountability? Not so much. Next up, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, or CFPB. This agency was established to be the watchdog of the financial world, ensuring that consumers were treated fairly and justly. Remember the 2008 financial crisis? It was a time of unprecedented economic turmoil, with banks collapsing and people losing their homes and savings. The one where Wall Street's reckless gambling nearly brought down the global economy. The crisis exposed the vulnerabilities and the sheer greed that had been festering within the financial sector for years. The CFPB was created in the aftermath to protect ordinary Americans from predatory lending practices and financial scams. It was a beacon of hope for many, promising to hold financial institutions accountable. But apparently, protecting consumers is so last decade. The agency that once stood as a guardian for the people has seen its mission eroded. Trump fired the CFPB director and installed a crony who promptly set about dismantling the agency from the inside out. This move was seen by many as a direct attack on consumer rights. Musk, never one to miss an opportunity, swooped in and gave the remaining staff their pink slips. So what now? The dismantling of the CFPB has left a void in consumer protection. Well, for starters, it means that the very people who are supposed to be looking out for us in the financial world are gone. Consumers are now left to fend for themselves in a complex and often predatory financial landscape. It means that the foxes are now guarding the henhouse. Financial institutions with less oversight have more freedom to engage in risky and potentially harmful practices. And it means that we're one step closer to another devastating financial crisis. Without the CFPB's oversight, the chances of history repeating itself have increased. Sleep tight, America. Here's a scary thought. What if all this dismantling, all this chaos, isn't just about Trump's ego or some misguided ideology? What if it's all part of a larger plan, a plan orchestrated by none other than Elon Musk himself? Think about it. Musk now heads DOGE, a department that seems to have unlimited power to reshape the government in its own image. He's already proven that he's willing to use that power to eliminate agencies that he doesn't like or that he sees as a threat to his own business interests. Is it so far-fetched to believe that Musk is using Doge to consolidate his own power and influence? To create a government that answers to him, not the other way around? Section 5. The fallout from global aid to your wallet. The consequences of this dismantling are already being felt, both at home and abroad. The ripple effects are vast and far-reaching, touching every corner of the globe. Families are struggling to make ends meet, and communities are grappling with the loss of essential services. USAID's absence is leaving a void that no amount of private philanthropy can fill. The organization has been a lifeline for millions, providing critical support in times of crisis. Without it, many are left to fend for themselves in dire circumstances. Developing countries are struggling to combat disease outbreaks and provide basic necessities to their citizens. The healthcare systems in these regions are overwhelmed, and the lack of resources is exacerbating the situation. People are waiting in long lines for food, water, and medical care. Here in the US, the absence of the CFPB is already being felt in the financial sector. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was established to safeguard consumers from unfair practices, and its dissolution has left a significant gap in oversight. Predatory lending practices are on the rise. Without the CFPB's regulatory framework, unscrupulous lenders are taking advantage of vulnerable individuals, trapping them in cycles of debt with exorbitant interest rates and hidden fees. Consumers are being taken advantage of by unscrupulous companies. The lack of clear regulations and enforcement has led to a surge in deceptive practices, leaving many people confused and frustrated as they navigate complex financial agreements. And the risk of another financial meltdown looms large. The instability in the financial markets is a direct consequence of weakened regulatory oversight, and the potential for a crisis similar to the one in 2008 is a growing concern among experts. But it's not just about economics, it's about trust. Trust in our financial systems, trust in our government, and trust in each other. This erosion of trust has far-reaching implications for the social fabric of our society. Trust in our government, trust in our institutions, and trust in our fellow citizens. When these pillars of trust are weakened, the very foundation of our democracy is at risk. Rebuilding this trust is a monumental task that requires collective effort and commitment. And that trust, once broken, is very difficult to rebuild. It takes time, transparency, and a concerted effort from all stakeholders to restore faith in our systems. The path to recovery is long, but it is essential for the stability and prosperity of our future. Section 6. A question of power: Trump, Musk, or a toxic tango? So who's really calling the shots here? Is it Trump, the impulsive, Twitter-happy president with a penchant for chaos? Or is it Musk, the calculating tech visionary with a messianic complex? The truth is, it's probably a bit of both. Trump's need for adulation and Musk's desire for control have created a toxic feedback loop, one that's pushing America further and further down a dangerous path. This isn't about left versus right, it's about right versus wrong. It's about accountability, transparency, and the rule of law. And it's about time that we, the American people, start demanding better. Section 7. America's uncertain future, innovation, or instability. The long-term consequences of this dismantling are still unknown. Proponents argue that it will lead to a leaner, more efficient government, one that's better equipped to meet the challenges of the 21st century. They envision a future where innovation flourishes, unburdened by bureaucratic red tape. But critics paint a far bleaker picture. They warn of a future where corporations run rampant, unchecked by any form of government oversight. A future where the gap between the rich and the poor widens into a chasm. A future where the very fabric of American society begins to unravel. Only time will tell which vision of the future will come to pass. But one thing is certain: the stakes have never been higher. Section 8. Voices from the rubble. Stories of loss and uncertainty. Behind the headlines and the political posturing are real people whose lives have been upended by the dismantling of these agencies. We hear from former USAID workers who dedicated their lives to helping others, only to be cast aside like yesterday's news. We meet families struggling to make ends meet after falling victim to predatory lending practices. We listen to the stories of small business owners who are struggling to navigate a regulatory landscape that seems to change by the day. These are the human costs of dismantling government. These are the voices that are too often drowned out by the noise of political rhetoric. Section 9. A call to action, reclaiming our future. The dismantling of America's government agencies is not a done deal. We, the American people, still have a voice. We can contact our elected officials and demand accountability. We can support organizations that are fighting to protect our rights and our future. This isn't about blind faith in government, it's about recognizing that government, at its best, can be a powerful force for good. It's about demanding that our government work for us, not against us. The future of America is at stake. The time to act is now. And, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell.